What's up? Let's talk a bit about bulking. If you're watching this video, then I assume that you have suffered with bulking the right way, and you might be looking for some tips to better your bulking journey. Before giving actionable steps, let's go over quickly my bulking journey and how it started for me. In the beginning, I used to be a really skinny kid. I was like 53 kilograms or 55 kilograms, something like that. And I just thought that muscles look cool. So that's why I started my journey. Training was never a big issue for me. I just clicked quite quickly in terms of what to do and how to do it. But I'm quite a hard gainer and I had issues with putting up mass and progressing in terms of body weight. So I synced a lot of time into getting better at this bulking stuff. And while I'm still not perfect and I have a long way to go, I think I have a good grasp on it. Now, what bulking is simply is eating more calories than your body needs to maintain its weight. And this is what we call a calorie surplus. You will have to find out your maintenance level of calories, and you will have to get in a little bit more calories than that. And doing so in like 100 or 200 calorie range is enough. If you get into like a crazy high surplus, like a 500 or 600 calorie surplus, then you will probably end up gaining more fat than it is necessary. You will gain muscle, don't get me wrong, but a larger percentage of weight gained will probably be fat, and that can be avoided with sticking to a lower calorie surplus. Thankfully, that is what I want to show you in this video. How building muscle works, really simplified, is there has to be a stimulus and there will be a reaction to the stimulus, which in this case is to recover in a way where you end up stronger and more capable of handling the stimulus. And this in turn will result in more muscle tissue built. On a bulk, your body is in a state where recovering and building new muscle is optimal. Trying to build muscle while not being in a bulk is like having a building and providing just enough or a little bit less brick and materials for it. It's not impossible to build, but you will tend to run into a lot more problems than building on a smaller budget. Trying to build muscle when you're in a bulk is like having all the bricks in the world. The only problem with this is you may run into the problem where there are too many bricks lying all over the place, and it can get a little bit messy and a bit distracting, which in this analogy is fat. So like you might end up with more muscle because there are more bricks lying around, but also that the surplus might end up as fat. While it's not the end of the world, it can cause some headache and it can make you worry about how you look. So be aware of that. Now let's talk about a few actionable steps which you can take to get into the bulk the right way. Now, the first thing to do is to prioritize tracking. Going into the bulk without tracking your calories is like having a firearm and not using your scope, not using your sights. And you might just end up using your hip fire, shooting all around the place, hoping that you might hit your target, but it's not as likely. Tracking your bulk is really simple. You need to calculate the calories that you need to take in. You need to have an app that you do this on, and you have to weigh yourself for the fact that you can go up from these numbers and you can update your calories. Just go on Google and search calorie tracker. probably the first result that comes up will be the right one. Just go into it, write your numbers, pick your activity level, and go one peg higher to make sure that you get your required calorie intake. For calorie tracking apps, I use Fat Secret, which works for me, but there's also MyFitnessPal and a plethora of other calorie tracking apps. If you don't want to go off MyFitnessPal and Fat Secret, just choose whichever that suits your needs and that looks good to you. What you will use this calorie tracking apps for is to take the foods that you eat in a day and to put them up into this database. It's really easy. Most of these apps will have a search bar and you just have to write the food, the name of the food up there. Just click on the food, pick grams or ounces or whichever measurement you use. I advise you to do this. To get a scale, weigh all of your food. If you have like 5 minutes in your day that you would invest in yourself to do this bulking thing better, then I would advise you to do so. If you do not have that 5 minutes, which I really doubt, you just have to guess. So like, if you have a chicken thigh, like either look up how much a chicken thigh weighs on average, or just go off by any chance. But any information in your calorie tracking app is better than nothing. You will have a target calorie level in this app. To uphold this bulk, you will have to get close to this level most of the days until you reach your body weight goals. The last thing in this section is to weigh yourself often. Now, by often I mean probably every day, 4 or 5 days a week is probably enough. Don't look at specific days, but rather look at the tendency. If most of the days of the week it seems to increase, then you're probably doing something right. Be aware that sometimes it will seem that your weight just doesn't want to go up. Now, at times like this, wait for a week and to see how much your weight changes. If it seems to be stuck, if you seem to have plateaued, then I advise you to up your calories by like 100 or something in that range. Weighing yourself is really beneficial because it will give you numbers to go off. You will be able to adjust in grounded and well-functioning way. If you feel like not doing any of these things, I just advise you to eat more than you do. Well, that is nothing new, but let's say that you eat 2 burgers per day. If you want to bulk, go up to 2.5 burgers. Eat a little bit more than how much you need to eat to feel saturated. Now, being on a bulk gives you a little bit more leeway with your food, but please don't do a dirty bulk. Don't go on a rampage. Don't eat everything that's inside, because you will gain more weight, but you will sacrifice your health, and prioritizing the short term is not the right choice, and the case of bulking happens to be the same. Just eat what you think is mostly healthy. Like, eat mostly unprocessed and natural foods. Like, of course, you can't be completely 100% right on your diet, but just try to limit the foods that have like 30 or 40 different ingredients on the back. If you take bananas, you will probably only eat bananas and not emulsifiers, added sugars, and all the different crap that they put in the food. So just stick to a diet that doesn't have many ingredients on the back and that you can get down. Just don't overdo it. Like, getting 80% of your calories from whole and mostly natural foods, because like who the fuck knows what is natural at this point. I will have some basic foods up with the calories and most of the macros. And thank you for watching this video, and see you in the next one.